The team to play this Saturday against Japan is as follows. Rob Carney, Keith Earls, Gary Ringrose, Chris Farrell, Jacob Stockdale, Jack Carty, Connor Murray in the back line. And the forward pack is Kian Healy, Rory Best, captain, Tyke Furlong, Ian Henderson, James Ryan, Peter O'Mahony, Josh Van der Fleer and CJ Stander. The replacements are Sean Cronin, Dave Kilcoyne, Andrew Porter, Tyke Byrne and Reece Ruddock in the pack. And in the back line it's Luke McGrath, Joey Carberry and Jordan Lama.
Joe, is this the strongest team you could have named?
We don't really look at the strength as much as the squad. If we name anyone from the squad, we believe we can put together a strong team. Obviously, we've left a couple of guys out who trained on Tuesday, but not fully, and we just decided to give ourselves certainty, particularly with some newer guys slotting in, the likes of obviously Jack Carty. So we wanted to give Jack as much certainty as possible, so we told him on Tuesday that he would be starting so he could get his head around it. I thought he came on and played really well against Scotland. Put a really nice through ball for Chris Farrell to get onto when he was really under pressure. Cleared our lines really well. A couple of times when we had to come out of our own 22, the distance in his angled kicks was spot on, and he's trained really well. So that gives us confidence, and it just allows us to freshen guys up and work through a few combinations as we work our way through the pool, and hopefully it will be a cohesive performance, because it's going to have to be against Japan, because we know how good they can be.
How did Johnny feel about being left out?
Yeah, he's never happy about being left out. He's always looking to play, but he had a good hit out against Scotland, and he played through to I think 55 odd minutes. So he's got a little bit of mileage under his belt there. We thought about bringing him off the bench and giving us a security off the bench, but we also have a lot of time for Joey and feel that he was fit and available for Scotland. So we wanted to get him involved as well, and we just felt that bringing Joey off the bench was a good option, and it just means that we take the pressure off Johnny a little bit this week. Yeah, Jack. Someone just stood on his foot, and he is absolutely fine, but it meant that he was sore at training, so he didn't train fully. So we've got Pete, who's fully fit, and we've got Reece, who's fully fit. Reece captained the team the last 2 times we played Japan and did a super job. So again, it's a case of being confident in the squad and offering an opportunity. And I'm pretty sure Jack is probably going to be fine to train tomorrow. But we just again wanted to have the team. We rolled our sleeves up today. We worked pretty hard, and we wanted that team to get the opportunity to use that as a springboard into Saturday's match.
Joe, Jack was an Ireland transfer about 7 months ago. He's had a pretty swift rise since. What have you seen from mentally, and how he's grown in the group and the team in the big game?
Yeah, he's very calm. He doesn't get ruffled easily. He doesn't get distracted by an error that he might make, or distracted by people trying to put pressure on him. He stays in the zone incredibly well. So for us with Jack, there's a lot of confidence, not just from the coaching staff, from the players as well. And so the spectrum of skills that he brings, obviously I mentioned his kicking game, his angled kicking game, for us to get out of it 22 was super in the weekend, and he put that ball through on the ground. I think he's got a bit of a running game. Obviously he takes the ball to the line like he did against Wales, and links up with players, and that's another attacking threat that he brings. And defensively we've been really happy with the progress he's made in Connacht in recent times, and now obviously into the national side.
Rory, your thoughts on Chris Farrell, how he's developed, and maybe your memories of Yeah, look, I think Chris has developed incredibly well from his time in France and more recently in Munster. I think when he was with Ulster, there was no doubt in his talent. He just had a bad run of injuries, and sometimes to break that, you need to go away and you need to sort of almost find yourself. And I think there's no doubt he's done that, and he's played. Every time he's played at the top level for Ireland, I think he's been very good. I thought he was very good coming off the bench last Sunday, and yeah, look, it'll be great for him to get another opportunity.
Joe, are you a bit concerned about how much game time you've got out of Johnny Sexton? Would you like to have had seen more? Would you like to have thought about it?
Yeah, not really. Johnny's a guy who plays really well fresh. Johnny can come back in and hit the ground running, and it would be similar. I think Rob Carney's a little bit like that. Robbie Henshaw's like that, and we've seen that both in Leinster and the national team before. So, I've been involved coaching with Johnny for the last almost 10 years. So it's not something that I would be too concerned about, because he keeps himself in good condition, and we do believe he can come straight back in and hit the ground running. If that's against Russia next Thursday, we always knew we were going to have to manage this start of the tournament because of a 6 and a 5 day turnaround. So whether guys play this week or next week, we do know that the kind of the challenge this weekend is going to be particularly tough, but we also know that we've got to show confidence in the squad, because we have that confidence. And I think it's one of the things that in the last World Cup, there were some players who didn't play a lot, and then suddenly they were required for the quarterfinal, and maybe they didn't quite have the confidence that we would have liked them to have had. Whereas, we've committed in the last few years to making a decision earlier in the week in some positions and saying, look, this is going to be your game. Step up and take ownership.
Joe, can I ask you about the occasion, playing Japan, and obviously all the attention here, and how big an occasion is going to be for them? Can you use that to your advantage?
No, because I think they're really well prepared. They've had something like 180 to 200 days in camp this year. A number of them play for the Sunwolves together, and then on top of that, they've got a couple of really quality operators to come in on top with the likes of Amanaki Mafi, who might be back available this week. I'm not sure what they'll do at fullback, whether they'll stick with Tupou or maybe go with Yamanaka to increase their opportunity to play a two-sided game. Yamanaka, I think he's a converted number 10. He's a very, very good player as well. So, they've got guys who can change it up. They've got guys who've spent a lot of time together, and I don't think they'll be intimidated by the occasion. I think they'll be motivated hugely by it. They're going to have a very vocal hometown crowd. It was great for us in Yokohama to play a home match in Yokohama Stadium with the Fields of Athenry belting out, and the amount of green jerseys and support we had. I think we might be in the minority this week, and they're going to have to give us as much volume as they can.
Joe, one of the Japanese players, Yusuke Kizu, was speaking during the week, and he said that the looser prop steps out and they try to attack from the side when it comes to your scrum. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's hard to step out when you've got your right shoulder out and you're nice and square, and I think we'd be probably, if not the least, one of the least penalised scrums in international rugby. So I think we do our very best to scrum square. We don't step left. Sometimes it's impossible not to step left when the opposition does it, because the scrum operates on an axis, and if the centre of that axis is moved by the opposition, then it's pretty much impossible when you get shifted not to shift your left foot. So, I think in any situation you could show scrums where any team have taken a slight left step because it's happened on the far side of the scrum, and because the axis pivots on Bestie for us and obviously Shotahori for them, if it does shift, then the scrum is kind of one being, and everyone shifts a little bit. But yeah, that's certainly what was said by Kizu is a big surprise for us. will probably provide a bit of motivation for Ken when it comes to the game on Saturday.
Okay, last question.
Peter O'Mahony obviously but probably not going to come in and start coming with Jack, but any concerns with him? You want to have him obviously later in the tournament.
Yeah, Pete was mad keen to play. He only played that 25 minutes, and unfortunately I think we might have got Pete back out there, but we had 2 HIAs at the same time, and therefore the communication wasn't as smooth as it normally is, and when you're trying to repeat words back to somebody, it became a little bit difficult for him. He flew through his HIA 2 and HIA 3, which confirms to us that he didn't have a concussion, that the HIA process is a precautionary process to ensure that anyone who has a suspected concussion is immediately removed from the field. It doesn't mean that they've had a concussion, and in both Bundy and Pete's cases, they flew through HIA 2 and HIA 3. They are absolutely symptom-free as they were after the match. So, there's no elevated risk, we don't believe. We've got a super medical staff, and that allows us the confidence to have those guys involved if we see fit. And we mix and match a little bit there. Obviously, we're delighted with the way Chris played. Gary Ringrose played well. We just think that if we put that back out, it's a good bit of continuity for us, particularly because Bundy wasn't maybe due to play this game anyway, and he's played a lot in the lead-up. So that was kind of part of our thinking.